How's it going, Internet? My name is DCDX, the editor of Danide Productions. When this video was originally made, the video file became corrupted. However, Axilotl was very happy with his commentary, so, in order to counter this, I made my own introduction using editing and included the replay file from the second match, and I had Axilotl record a first match again to include in the video. That is why the format will be a bit different than you're used to.
How's it going, guys? It's Axilotl here, back with our first episode of our journey to top 10 here on Showdown. The team that I thought we're gonna showcase this video is a team that I built with my friend Lorcylovesyou, or some titles that he has done under the season is that he came top 4 on the New York Invitational, as well that he did a pretty good run at US Nationals. So the idea behind the team was that we wanted to try to build a team around Assault vs Landorus-I. And obviously then we needed a T-Tar to help it up, to get up the sand. And we wanted to try a Mawile Trick Room variant because of the fact that Mawile really needs or helps with that special defense boost that it gets by having sand up. But anyway, we can look where we are at in the ladder, as we are at 64th place in the ladder at 1636. So we can hope that we can climb up some more today. But anyway, we can look for a battle. So we find our first battle. It seems to be against a pretty standard Kangaskhan team with Landorus, Thunderous, Kangaskhan, Sylvia, and Heatran, and Amoonguss. So this team, I think I need the Mawile. Mawile can do a lot of work in this team, against this team. I'm wondering what I should lead with. I'm thinking either Sand or possibly a Rotom Heat Mawile lead. I'm not sure if I want Trick Room in this match, though it would really benefit, but I'm not sure what Jellicent can put to the table as more than just setting up Trick Room. The only thing it really can do in this match, in my opinion, is probably to get off Scald on Heatran or Landorus and get up Trick Room. But I would think he would lead with Kangaskhan. I feel that's a pretty safe lead by him. I think I will lead with Mawile and Rotom Heat, with either Landorus and T-Tar in the back, or Tyranitar possibly, and Jellicent. I'm not really sure what I'm more afraid of, if I would be afraid of this Heatran, or if I'm more afraid of possibly a Thunderous or a Landorus. I would feel that I would honestly think that Landorus and Tyranitar would be better than to have Jellicent. Or never mind, I think I want to bring Jellicent in this match. I think I'm gonna bring Jellicent and Tyranitar, as he leaves with Kangaskhan and Amoonguss. Pretty good lead by us. I'm thinking of double protecting. Not sure if we lose anything by that. He could possibly switch out. I'm thinking of next turn, because I'm not sure. I don't think he wants to switch out this turn. I think it's just a pretty safe double protect by us, as if he wants to switch out, by all means he can do that. As he switches into Heatran and goes for Spore with his Amoonguss. Here, I'm thinking of going for just a Overheat onto the Amoonguss, though it's pretty obvious, and switch into Tyranitar. Due to the fact that he's probably just going to go for a Heat Wave and either go in and go for a possible Spore of any sort, or go for a Rage Powder. As here, I'm not sure if I should predict him to switch out with his Amoonguss, because I think that's so obvious. As I'm actually going to go for that play, as I'm going to pick this Amoonguss to switch out, and I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt and Sucker Punch onto the Heatran. As he does not switch out with his Amoonguss, and he goes for a Flamethrower with his Heatran. Pretty bad by us. Should have probably predicted that and switch it out into our Tyranitar. As here, I would like to switch in our Jellicent, as he's probably going to switch in his Kangaskhan, as he can just burn it. And we're not in the best of positions right now. I'm thinking of just next turn as he's switching in his Kangaskhan, go for a Will-O-Wisp this turn and switch in Tyranitar onto the Rotom Heat slot if you want to go for a possible double edge or return or fake out. As I'm a little bit afraid of this Kangaskhan, I hope it's not scrappy and can get off this fake out onto this Jellicent, because I really need this Will-O-Wisp to connect this turn. As he goes for a Power Punch and does not Mega, starting me to think that will he have Scrappy, as he probably will right now, as I'm not sure if we should stay in this form with Jellicent by any sort. I'm thinking of just Protect with Tyranitar, as he's probably just going to go for Power Punch again on that slot, or either go for a possible double edge onto Jellicent, as that's not sort of a threat for us right now. As I'm thinking of just going for a Trick Room, because if he, next turn, if he would like to go for a Spore, we have the Lumberry, and I think that a Rock Slide plus Scald should get the KO on Kangaskhan. As I'm just going to go for a Trick Room, though we're not really sure what he has in the back, but I think that Trick Room would be better in this situation than going for something else. As we go for one more Power Punch that I expected, as he doubles into this Tyranitar, pretty good turn by us. I'm not sure if this will KO. I'm really hoping to that Rock Slide and Double or Dark Pulse will KO. I'm not sure if Dark Pulse is a better play. I'm not really sure. I would possibly think that it would do more damage and not have a mischance. And I'm just going to go for a Scald onto this Kangaskhan. As he goes for a Spore onto this Tyranitar, we have Lumberry, so we can take that. And here we're probably not going to KO, but at least he's going to die to his burn. As we live both of the Power Punches, very good. As we can, if we need to, switch out with this Tyranitar and come back with it again to set up the stand again. As what does he have in the back? I would not like to see a Landorus, as he has a Sylveon. Here I'm thinking of just going for a Protect this turn and go for a non-Trick Room to next turn be able to go for a double target onto this Amoonguss. As I'm not sure if that is the correct play, though I'm thinking of going for it right now, as I'm not sure if he will go for a Spore or Giga Drain onto this Tyranitar, or if he will go for a Giga Drain onto this Jellicent to try to get the KO onto Jellicent. The fact that I don't want to go for a Trick Room is only because of the fact that Sylveon next turn cannot speed us, as it will get off one more attack onto this Jellicent. As I think my best play would be to just Protect here with Tyranitar, stall out one more turn, just go for either a burn onto this Amoonguss or a burn onto this Sylveon. I think I'm gonna try to get in a position where it's gonna be 1v1 against this Amoonguss with my Jellicent, as Jellicent will probably win that match. As he goes for the Giga Drain onto this Tyranitar, and we connect with the Will-O-Wisp, and he goes for Hyper Voice. As pretty good by us. I'm not sure if I should switch out into Rotom Heat. I'm thinking of switching out into Rotom Heat and just go for a Recover and take the incoming hit that Sylveon will want to fire off. As I think he's just going to go for the same play again, as he does not, and goes for Giga Drain onto Jellicent, as we're going to be able to live both of the attacks. As he goes for Hyper Voice again, does 33% to Rotom Heat. Did actually expect it to do more. But here I'm not really that afraid of this Sylveon, as I'm just going to go for a Overheat onto the Sylveon. If we can wake up, would be amazing, and I'm just going to go for an easy Recover to possibly live the incoming attacks that this Amoonguss and Sylveon wants to go for. As he is disabled with his Giga Drain, so he can't really go for Giga Drain. He will probably need to either go for a Protect or a Rage Powder this turn. As he goes for Spore onto Rotom Heat, and does Rotom Heat wake up? No, he doesn't. We can hope that he wakes up this turn, as we're just going to go for a Overheat and either go for a Trick Room or a Recover. I'm feeling just going for one more Recover as the fact that if I set up Trick Room and it does that % of damage, and Disable stops that turn, he could KO me with the incoming Giga Drain. Though I'm not really sure if that is the correct play. I think the better play would just be to go for a recover, take his attack, hope that Rotom Heat wakes up, as Rotom Heat does not, and he gets off a Hyper Voice. As Jellicent will be able to recover this up. Jellicent is really coming in clutch this match. I'm hoping that Hyper Voice will get disabled soon. It should at least get disabled really soon, as I will be able to live both of its attacks with this Jellicent, and I can just recover up again. I'm just gonna stall out this Sylveon, as it will probably KO himself with burn damage after some turns. As here the burn damage is starting to rack up, as I'm not really sure if Sylveon will be faster than a Tyranitar, though I would guess that it will. So I'm thinking just to go for a Rock Slide and a Recover to take that incoming Hyper Voice. As he outspeeds my Tyranitar, it's because that my Tyranitar is pretty slow, as next turn this Sylveon will go down, and I will need to take a Hyper Voice and a Giga Drain because of the fact that Giga Drain is no longer disabled. As I think I'm just can go for a recover this turn again, just stall out even more. Jellicent should be able to take this. This is a pretty stally game, as he goes for Hyper Voice and goes for Giga Drain, as we live both of the attacks. As here, I'm a little bit afraid for this Amoonguss, so I would rather just go for recover instead of going for a Will-O-Wisp this turn. As if he gets a crit, he will be able to KO me. As did not expect that Hyper Beam. I thought he was choice scorched due to the fact that he went for Hyper Voice so often. As he goes for Giga Drain, I don't even think with a crit he will be able to KO us right now, so I'm just gonna go for Will-O-Wisp, hope that it connects, as it does, and this will just be an even stallier match, as we can just go for one more recover. Possibly will speed this up in the battle, but I think we got this in the bag. We just need to stall out his possible Giga Drains, and soon I would think that Giga Drain will get disabled, and we will be able to just freely get off burn damage and letting him not get health back with his Giga Drain. As I'm just going to go for a Scald, because we don't really need to go for a recover this turn. Save the PP, and he goes for Protect this turn. Probably just wants me to stall the PP, as I'm just going to Scald again to be able to take this Giga Drain. Or we will be able to take this Giga Drain. As he goes for a double Protect, do not really know why. Does he wants to stall out my Scald? Not really sure. As I'm just going to go for Scald again. I don't need to go for recover at this amount of HP. As we're sitting really good, as we get a crit with this Scald, and the Giga Drain gets disabled. As here we can just go for easy recover up our health, even though we technically do not really need to do that. I still want to be on the safe side and take a Giga Drain. As we're just gonna go for Scald, pulling at the win right now. Pretty long battle. Longer than I really wanted it to do, but it was a really fun match, as we can just go for our last Scald and get the kill onto this Amoonguss. This is pretty much why I love to have Jellicent in 1v1 situations, because it pretty much wins all 1v1 situations due to the fact of its cursed body, and that it has Recover, Will-O-Wisp, and Trick Room. So, with that, we can look for another battle. As we find our second battle, it's against a Salamence team with a Aromatisse that is oftenly not paired up with a Salamence, though it could possibly be to prevent the opposing people to go for a taunt onto Salamence, as it will D-dance. because of the fact that Aromatisse has Aroma Veil that stops Encore, Disable, Taunt, and so on. As I'm a little bit afraid of his Milotic, as with our Intimidate from our Mawile, it will get that competitive boost. I think that the Trick Room mode is the way to go with this match, as I'm liking the lead of Rotom Heat, because of the fact that it can go for a Thunderbolt onto his possible Milotic and HBI's Salamence. As his Terrakion could be a problem if we lead with Rotom Heat. I'm thinking of maybe lead with Jellicent or our Mawile, though I'm not really sure if we get the KO onto Milotic, because we don't get the one-shot with Thunderbolt, even though it's Life Orbed. So I think the best play, or the best possible play, would be to lead with Jellicent and Rotom Heat, as well as Mawile in the back, because of the fact that it can KO Aromatisse, Terrakion, as well get off a Sucker Punch and do a lot of damage to all of his team. As the last Pokemon, I'm not sure. I think we need I would like to have Amoonguss, though it makes us pretty dependent on that we get up the Trick Room. So I'm not really sure. I'm thinking of maybe Tyranitar, just because of the fact that we have that we can go for a Rock Slide and have the Lumberry to survive and go for Dark Pulse onto Aegislash. Or I think I'm gonna take with Amoonguss. I think we need to get up the Trick Room this match, because that I think is the way to win this match. As it is with Aromatisse and Milotic. Pretty decent lead. I'm thinking of maybe double targeting this Milotic. I could either switch in Amoonguss and go for Protect, as he is probably gonna go for something with his Aromatisse and go for Scald on this Rotom Heat. As a Scald will not one-shot, though it will do a lot of damage, and I'm not sure if I want to take that unnecessary damage. Though I think that Amoonguss Protect would be a pretty good play. Even though he switched in his Terrakion, I think we should be in a pretty good position. And we will have the advantage, even though if his Aromatisse by any chance want to set up Trick Room, we could utilize it with our Amoonguss. As he goes for a Scald with his Milotic, and he goes for a Trick Room. Pretty good by us. I'm not that afraid anymore, because here he put up the Trick Room for us. I'm thinking of going for a Spore onto his Aromatisse, though it could probably have safety goggles, yeah, I would assume, as he will probably want to go for Trick Room again to Trick Room away the Trick Room. As here I would like to go for the Slush Bomb onto Aromatisse and Thunderbolt. I'm not sure if it will KO, I'm thinking of overheating, but I don't want to take that -2, as he will probably protect it with Milotic this turn, due to the fact that I can KO it with Thunderbolt and a Icy Wind. As he goes for Icy Wind with his Milotic, and what does he do with his Aromatisse? It lives both of attacks, and he goes for Trick Room again. So here I'm thinking of just going for the Rage Powder and take away his possible Scald, and go for Thunderbolt on this Milotic, even though he doesn't really have a switch into a Thunderbolt, so I feel that's pretty safe. And his Aromatisse can't really do that much, in my opinion. He could maybe go for a skill swap, as I have seen use myself, though it will not really help in this situation. As he goes for Helping Hand, and what does he do with his Milotic? He goes for Ice Beam. So here we're gonna get off the Thunderbolt, as it does a lot of damage. It's a critical hit. It is not a Citrus Berry or a Moringa Berry, as that is the common items. So I'm either thinking for going with a Slush Bomb and Thunderbolt, though he will outspeed my Rotom Heat, so I want to go for a Rage Powder and just go for a Thunderbolt onto this Milotic, as I then could switch in Mawile for free. As he goes for Icy Wind, he missed the Amoonguss, pretty unfortunate by him. As here the Amoonguss will be alive, I can switch out and get the Regenerator, as that was pretty unfortunate by him. As he switched in his Zapdos, I'm not sure if I want to switch out with this Amoonguss, as it probably will just set up a Tailwind, I would think, or go for a possible attack onto Amoonguss to get the KO like a HP Ice. As this Aromatisse isn't really a problem, I would almost like to switch out, though I don't really have a good switch in onto the Zapdos, as I almost just want to let it die and get in a free switch in into Mawile. As I think that would be the better play, and just go for a possible Spore onto the Zapdos if he doesn't want to attack my Amoonguss this turn. And I'm thinking of overheating or thunderbolting. I would rather just go for a overheat onto the Zapdos, as Aromatisse isn't really a problem right now. He could go for Heat Wave, as he goes for Heat Wave and it does 24% to his Rotom Heat, as it doesn't really do that much. And here he will outspeed my Rotom Heat with the Zapdos, as I'm thinking of going into Mawile and just Sucker Punch the Zapdos and go for a overheat. So with -2, that would probably get the KO with the Thunderbolt, so I don't need to go for a overheat. So I think I'm just going to go for the Mega Evolution and Sucker Punch the Zapdos. If he wants to switch out, it's fine by me. And I'm going to go for a Thunderbolt on this Aromatisse. As I get off the Sucker Punch and the KOs, as well I get off this Thunderbolt and it gets the double KO this turn. As I'm thinking he will have Salamence or Tracken in the back. And as he has Tracken in the back, I'm not sure if I want to stay in with Rotom Heat. I could have it as Death Fodder sometime in the future. Though I would actually just like to save it, stay it in here, and go for a Iron Head and Thunderbolt on this Tracken, as it goes for close combat, as Mawile will be able to KO it with the Iron Head. As we win both of the matches today, pretty good turn of events, and as we win both of the matches, pretty good team in my opinion. I really like it, because the fact that Mawile is really good in this meta, as it takes care of Kangaskhan as well as Gardevoir and Salamence, as you saw in this match. As the biggest threat to this team in my opinion would be possibly a Milotic, due to the fact that I don't really have the best of counters against it, and the only really counter against is Rotom Heat, that is weak against a possible Scald, so I often need to pair it up with Amoonguss. I really like this team, and I feel that this Tyranitar actually has worked. I've played with a set that is specially or mixed with a Dark Pulse instead of the common Crunch, and I feel that has really come in clutch at matches where the opponent goes for Intimidate on my Tyranitar, thinking that it doesn't have possible Dark Pulse or Ice Beam that one-shots a Landorus-I. But with that said, we can look where we are at the ladder, as we are 43rd place in the ladder with a rating of 1659. We're starting to ladder pretty good. Really fun that we are starting to win some matches. I'm really enjoying this team, and I hope that you have enjoyed. Be sure to leave any advice in the comment section below. I would love to hear any such suggestions to any team that I have, just to try to improve the team. But anyway, with that said, this has been Axilotl, and Axilotl is signing out.